capital H, who have done work and degrees in history. So I wanted to preface that because if you expect me to know a great deal about American history, I actually don't. I know how to dig around in old documents. So if you cannot hear me, I have a tiny little librarian voice. Don't feel it's rude. Just go like this if my voice starts to fade. So I started out with this slide because in addition to beating the drum about John Hathorn and his men, there's a couple other things that I beat the drum about. And the other thing that people should be aware of is that a mere 8 or 9 years from now, we have the 250th anniversary of the nation. If you think people are not getting ready already, just go to that website because you will see that there are all kinds of big plans in place. Our area has wonderful, wonderful stories to tell for this celebration. And a lot of the sites do a good job in their own wheelhouse, but we really haven't done in this area a good job of coordinating and making sure that not only the citizens, but that the visitors know the rich Revolutionary War history of the area. So we don't want to see ads like in the series Turn on AMC. I don't know if you watched that. It's about the spy ring on Long Island. What are the ads? Come to Colonial Williamsburg where you can experience what life was like for the spy ring on Long Island. Really? You know, we should be doing more of this ourselves. So I encourage you to get involved. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding in the end. Most of our historical organizations are kind of in trouble because the paradigm for what people are expecting from museums is changing as the younger generation comes forward. So for me, digging around in the old documents is about finding the compelling stories in the original documents, not just the stories carried forward that are kind of sort of based on fact. Those are fun too. But in those documents, you can find amazing things that probably have not been told since they were written down. Active engagement. The era of standing next to an antique and telling somebody about it is over. It really and truly is. The younger generation can find out about all the antiques they want on the internet. That's not what they're looking for from us. They're looking for something that engages them and speaks to them personally. Showing connections to why history is important. I'm not actually interested in history. I'm interested in knowing what history has to tell me about how can I do my life. What struggles did they overcome that will help me with my own life? And that's really the orientation of a lot of younger people. Yes, you preserve it for itself, but you have to bring the relevance to people's life. So look, that's my spiel about that. So we'll get down to business. I call this Most Obedient Servant because that's the way John and most people of his time period signed their letters to their superiors. And it's about not just John Hathorn, but his men and also their families. It's 238 years since the Battle of Neversink. I first fell down this rabbit hole 17 years ago. A member of the Hathorn family said to me, we're going to do a family reunion. Do a booklet for us with some documents. We had a couple of essays and a few documents. And I looked at the fact that this man had sat on the first Congress of the United States and said, you're kidding me, right? There's not much. So I've been digging for 17 years and I'm not done yet, and I probably never will be done. I look at history as healing history. And for me, reaching into the past and discovering what their lives were like makes me realize that our ancestors are ourselves in different clothing. And that the challenges and debates that in every generation of this nation have threatened to tear us apart, in their dynamic tension, are actually the living spirit of what it means to be an American. So that's the orientation that I'm coming from. How do you say that? You can say it Hathorn, Hawthorn. Most people now say it Hathorn, and I did until I started to look at the documents. When you look back, and they spelled phonetically back then, many of them did. Here's some of the spellings that they used. Most of the spellings seem to indicate that in his lifetime, people pronounced his name Hathorn. And there is someone who laments, from Warwick, who laments the barbaric pronunciation of her youth. She tries to upscale it by saying it, well, of course it's Hawthorn. It's not Hathorn. So, I don't care how you say the name, as long as you talk about it. So what we have here is a shadowy figure. We know he commanded the Battle of Neversink along with Tuscan. We don't know a whole lot else about him, and there's a reason for that, is that there were 3 fires. There was a fire at the National Archives during the War of 1812. 1814, the National Archives was burned. We are told in a story that after his life, his carefully preserved papers, which he had put in barrels for preservation, were accidentally burned by the women of the family. Well, as we'll see later, Elizabeth could read and write, his wife could read and write. She would have made sure her daughters could read and write. So I'm not buying that it was an accident that these papers were burned. I think that something was going on in the family dynamic. That was a time when you didn't throw things out in the dumpster without making sure you knew what you were doing. So there's a historian who in 1964, George Galloway, wrote about the history of the United States House of Representatives, writes about the first Congress. This is what he says about most of the men who were there. Disappeared into the wings of oblivion because the documents were not there. That's going to happen again. The Capitol loft in 1911, there was a huge fire in the archives in Albany. Tens of thousands of documents burned. And there are some surviving pay records from Hathorn's regiment. When you look at the microfilm, a lot of them are scorched around the edge. They were like 5 minutes away from being incinerated too. It's pretty amazing that we have anything at all. Since I'm a librarian, I feel compelled to show this graphic to you. This is what we know about Hathorn. This is what we can discover about him. Not what was lost, but we can discover. When you're searching the web, when you use Google or Yahoo, you're searching the very tip. Because the search engines that go into websites to find things for you only go this deep. And there are plenty of people who don't even allow them to go that deep because they want to control who's coming in to view their data. They want money from you, or they want to know who you are. You have to register. So a simple Google search will get you the answer you need most of the time. But when you're doing historical research, you need to learn a little bit more about the shorthand techniques to find those things. For example, you do a Google search for Claudia Smith as a phrase in quotes. And Orange County, these are your search results. Get some good content. Folks have tried to put some information out there. Sometimes it's cut and pasted from other websites. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. You go to books.google.com, and those are your first results. It gives you the exact hits and page number of the books. There are hundreds of thousands of books, full text in there for you. If they're in copyright, you can't get them in there. You have to get them at your library, through your library. If they're out of copyright, it's right there for you. About at least 70% of the 600 discrete initial primary documents that I have about Hathorn and his men, about 70% I discovered through the internet. It's there, but it takes persistence to winkle it out. If anybody wants to know how to do that, that's a good web address.
LearnTheNet.com.
There's also other sites besides Google Books. There's archive.org, And there's the Hathy Trust, H-A-T-H-I Trust, lots of full text books. Okay, taking my librarian hat off now. Thank you for your patience with that. So here he is. This is not John Hathorn. When you Google him, you will find this image all over the internet. And that's my fault, because I scanned the cartridges we have of this portrait and put it out there with the caution saying this is a composite portrait done many, many years after his death. And of course, everybody in the world has copied it as, this is John Hathorn. They tried to look at the descriptions of him, and this is in 1907. C. Brower Darce was commissioned. And they tried to come up with something that kind of sort of looked like him. The painting itself is missing. Nobody knows where the painting is. We've just got the photograph of it. So there's something to look at that maybe is sort of like he looked. Okay, can I have reading number 1, please? We have a little interactivity. We have readings I've passed out.
Okay, in the letter of James B. Hathorn in 1877, remembering his grandfather. In appearance, he was about 5 feet 7 inches, of medium size, rather slender, fair complexion, brown hair, and very bright, keen gray eyes, of an easy, amiable disposition, genial, impulsive, and very energetic.
So that gives you a very nice picture of what it was like to know this man. Can we have reading number 2, please?
It's from the Wilderness of Warwick by the Reverend A.A. Haynes in 1899. General Hathorn was very erect and preserved a military bearing, becoming stout in advanced life. He wore breeches and silver knee buckles and went in full dress top boots.
So, a very military bearing, a little impressive. Can we have reading number 3, please?
From the memoirs of Samuel Pelton, published in 1903. He was born in July 1818. I remember General Hathorn, who built the stone house not occupied by P.E. Sanford, and have attended a Quaker meeting at his house. He was conducted by a woman. He belonged to that sect.
So that's kind of surprising that in later life he adopted the clothing and the faith of the Quakers. There were some Quakers, if that's what he was as a youth, who did go into military service. It may be that he just adopted that at the end of his life. Here we have an eyewitness account of the Quaker meetings at the house. So I think we know a little bit more about the guy now than that portrait helps us do. I love this mannequin. I think this is a lot like what he looked like when he walked around the halls of Philadelphia and Albany. It's a slight build, had brown hair, fair complexion. All you have to do is imagine a very mobile face and those bright keen gray eyes and that engaging disposition. Oddly enough, we don't know who this guy's parents were. He says he was born near Elkton, Delaware, or Wilmington. I see no reason to doubt that. There are 2 John Hathorns in the area near the Elk River that maybe his family, are not entirely sure. The birth date we know for sure because the family Bible exists and the initial pages are written in his handwriting. So we know that that is when he was really born. It said he was educated in Philadelphia. He arrived in Warwick before 1772 as surveyor and school teacher. Haven't been able to find documents to prove that that was the reason why he came, but we certainly know he was a surveyor. We have some of his surveys. He clearly was very well educated. The first document that we have for this man is all the way in 1772 when he marries Elizabeth Bone. That's the first primary document we have. She was the daughter of a very wealthy farmer in the Warwick area. Physical evidence, the Hathorn house still exists in Warwick. It was in terrible shape, and a young couple has bought it now, and they are being very diligent about restoring it respectfully. In this postcard, the left-hand side of the house is a stone portion that John and Elizabeth built. The right-hand side is a pretty massive wooden expansion that the Sanford family did. In the gable end of the stone portion that's original, the initials were worked by John and Elizabeth in red brick, and they're there to this day. So H.I.E. 1773, that's when they built it. Does anybody have a guess as to why on earth there would be an I instead of a J for John? Any guesses why they would do that?
Because it was easier to make.
I thought that initially too. I said maybe they couldn't do the curves. They didn't have any trouble with the curves on the 3. It turns out that John's showing off a little bit. Latin has no J. And this is a convention that's used in other places to use an I instead of a J. So he's flaunting it a little bit. I like the fact that Elizabeth is right there next to him. So many things in the documents indicate that they had a partnership with equals. Okay. Now, another example, the James Clinton House, Little Britain Road. See the I for James? He did it too. Don't know about that K. What's the deal with that? Latin does have a C. None of his wives appear to have been named Catherine. They were both Mary, as far as I can figure out. Maybe he didn't know his Latin quite so well. We don't know. But it's a convention to do it this way. Well, let's talk about Elizabeth. I firmly believe in remembering the ladies when we're talking about this time period. When you do the documents and see that John was over here doing this and over here doing that, you realize the person left holding the bag to run the farm and the businesses and keep up with those 11 children that they raised to adulthood. It was Elizabeth. 11 children to adulthood. That's almost unheard of. That's an amazing thing. She could read and write. That's a letter she wrote. That's her handwriting. It's a letter that's in the Goshen Library and Historical Society, part of the William Whitman papers, and it's just about somebody wanting to borrow a surveyor's chain. John wasn't home and she's trying to figure out how to do this. 2 other letters are known that she signed, showing us that she not only wrote letters, she helped him with official correspondence, which is pretty outstanding for that time period. So now we'll talk a little bit about his career from the original documents. This is a manuscript, and I don't know how many here have sat down and tried to read a manuscript written in the 1800s? A couple of you. It can be a little tricky indeed. I was in a workshop with 30 teachers, grades 7 through 12, earlier this year. And I said, if I wrote a portion of a manuscript in for the kids to puzzle through, how many of you have kids in your classroom that could figure out some of the words? Not one of them raised their hand, because they do not teach cursive in the schools anymore. That has some serious implications for historical study. So in colleges, they'll have to be taking cursive 101. And almost more upsetting to me is when these kids are cleaning out their families' houses and they find Grandma and Grandpa's letters, they will not have a clue. Are they going to keep them? They're not going to keep them. They don't know what they say. So I'm hoping that the pendulum swings back a little bit, and at least as an elective, that some of the kids can get exposed to what it's like to read cursive. If our electricity goes off for a month, we're all locked brain. We don't know how to do this. A few highlights of his career. He was an early adopter. Certainly by 1775, he's active. His men say they joined his unit in 1775, but it really wasn't him. He wasn't appointed colonel until February of 76. Documents from 76 in February show that he was chairman of the Goshen Committee of Safety as well. He's writing to Clinton at that point. enemy movements. They're already spying on what the British and the Tories are doing in the area and seizing contraband. 1777, he gets elected to the First Assembly of the State of New York, and he attends that. Almost his entire career doing military command, he's also holding at least one, if not two or three, civil positions as well. Okay. Some of his words, I think to hear the voice of the person that's writing is really important. So that's one reason I'm having some of you read some of the things, so it's not just me reading. This is the kind of man he was in an official communication. The top two are for the Battle of Neversink manuscript. Nothing to be expected but the hatchet, the spear, and the scalping knife. Their fatigued situation and unallayed thirst, adding to that the yelling of those bloody monsters, exceeds thought or description. I'm going to talk about the manuscript in just a bit. But to get a sense of what his voice really is like, we're going to reading number 4 now. This quote is from reading number 4, A Letter to a Friend. Who's starting reading number 4? And this gentleman is the representative of the Colonel.
Letter to a friend on loss. Hathorn to Judge John Sutton. May 1813. Dear Sir, a short time since I was informed that you had lost your companion. I sympathize in the loss, irreparable and which none can realize, but those that have experienced it. But it is our duty and privilege to yield with a becoming resignation to the will of that being whose prerogative is to dispose of the creatures that he has made according to his will and pleasure. And as this providence, however, has looked into the tenderness of humanity, we believe it is right from the assurance that he cannot do wrong. On Sunday last, my daughter Hannah Jackson was interred after a short illness. My son Andrew was lying ill and wasting away gradually with a hectic complaint of, in all probability, it will not continue long. I fully acquiesce in all these dispensations, believing and hoping that they are gone and going from this world, having the strongest earnest of her entering into that heaven of rest, where the wicked cease from trouble and the weary enjoy an everlasting repose. Dear Sir, I should be happy to have an interview with you when we could more fully converse on this most tender subject and call to the remembrance some of the moments of harmony we enjoyed, as well as many tragical scenes we occasionally witnessed in times past.
So that's him writing to his friend about their mutual loss. Elizabeth is gone by now. Sympathizing with his friend who's lost his wife as well. One child has just died, and the other is on death's doorstep. I wish we had some more of those letters so that we could get into his head a bit more. More highlights of his career. One of 4 people decide where that great chain, which was the successful chain, went. 1779, there's a lot going on. His men are helping guard the prisoners at the jail in Goshen, where a lack of the British prisoners were sent. Claudius Smith and his raiders are getting in trouble. Levies are being sent to Peapack. His men are guarding the prisoners of Stony Point. This is a key point because when you look at what his men are saying about where they were and when they were, and all the commanders they served under, these militia regiments were never at full strength. Their men were always being sent to be attached to the Continentals and other militia units. So when the Battle of Neversink time comes, Hathorn has actually very few people to call on to respond to that. He's even having to fight for the guys who are trying to run the Sterling Forge, which is an essential service. They're trying to levy them away from him as well. All this, and he's still serving agriculture and other positions. So here is the battle report that he wrote. These are 2 of the 4 pages. I give you the web address where you can find it. I went to the Wisconsin Historical Society and said, can we scan this? And paid them some money. And so now we can read it in the original. How many folks here have actually read the transcript of this report? Has any of you actually read it? Some people have. I recommend reading the transcript, but then going to, because you'll be familiar with the words and reading it in the original. This man was noted for being an excellent penman, and he knew how to compose things really well. This document is a mess, and he apologizes for his many blots and erasures. He's writing 5 days after the Battle of Neversink. The story is it took him 3 days to get home. Another story is that there are snipers outside his house trying to pick him off. So he is clearly, you can see his anguish and his shock going down to his arm, into his quill, onto that paper when you read that document. He had PTSD big time for that generation in that area. This was their 9/11. He's clearly struggling. Okay, so now we come to the fact that, let's see, was John responsible for the disaster at Neversink? Because some people talk about maybe he didn't know what he was doing. That's really what happened. When you look at his career, he was appointed and elected continuously following the battle to all kinds of positions of authority. It's clear when you look at the documents, nobody of his contemporaries placed any blame on him whatsoever. It's only later that begins to creep in a little bit. So he's at the Gardner's Tavern. Serves on the 1st and 4th Congresses of the United States. The documents say he took his seat at Federal Hall in New York when they convened, and the entire Congress got up and followed Washington to the balcony for his swearing in. John Hathorn was at that balcony with Washington. Committee of Forfeitures, Council of Appointment. Astonishingly, he served as a commissioner of treaties with the Indians. You would think that this was not the right guy for that job. However, other documents that we have show that he had compassion. And I think, despite his trauma, that he was able to see Native Americans as people. We have a story that when the remains of Chief Chuckas were accidentally unearthed in Warwick, probably through some farming activity, he's the one that gathered the remains and respectfully moved them further up the mountain so that they could remain undisturbed. So they thought that he could overcome what he'd been through and deal with the Native Americans fairly. So what we have here is a founding father. He's a second-tier founding father, but he's a founding father. Dinner with Washington, dinner with John Adams. What was in those barrels that got burned? Can you imagine? There were probably letters and documents by a number of the founding fathers that were lost in these barrels. Physical evidence includes very fancy pistols and a very fancy sword, probably given to him as gifts. We don't know who owns them right now. They've been auctioned a number of times. We have pictures. We don't know whose collection they're in. That's the family Bible with the first pages in his handwriting. It's owned currently by Kevin Hathorn of Walkinger's Falls, who is a descendant. His favorite chair, the Warwick Historical Society, owns that. And there's his prayer book, but I love this book. This book is in the Warwick Historical Society collection. A military guide published in London in 1776. John got appointed and said, I don't know how to do this. I gotta go get a book. To become military experts at that point. I think if that book could talk, it's a very interesting story about how a military great at that book as well. Other physical evidence, we have the gravestones. They have their own stories to tell. Elizabeth, she passed about 15 years before John. He wrote the epitaph, "The righteous shall be had in everlasting remembrance." I think that's a wonderfully poignant epitaph. When he passes, and they do his stone, they give him his title, his name, and his dates, and no epitaph. So, do they have the money to do an epitaph? What's the story there? It was fairly common to at least put a few words on the gravestone. One of the stories carried forward is that one of the sons lost all the family money. We don't know who or what was involved, but apparently there was no money at the end. One of the most amazing honors that John got was later in his life, the Society of the Cincinnati, which is composed entirely of Continental Line officers, made him an honorary member. He never was a Continental Line officer, but they voted him in. That's how well respected he was. The story says that he couldn't go to dinner when Lafayette did his return tour through the area because he didn't have a suit of clothes that was good enough. So we don't really know what happened to the money. After the war, John has plenty of money. He's buying and selling bounty lands. He's land speculating. He had some ready cash after the war. He wasn't one of the ones that lost everything. So clearly something happened to the family finances. I was curious about where this whole thing about, well, Hathorn didn't know what he was doing, that's why the battle went south, came from. I went back and looked at the local papers. Every July, of course, they're talking about the Battle of Neversink and reporting. In the earlier years, of course, all the founding fathers and everything to do with the revolution had a golden glow. After the Civil War, they've been through a lot. They've seen the mess that happens. They've seen people make bad decisions and terrible things happen. They want to get to the facts. So it's after the Civil War that you begin to see some speculation. None of the eyewitnesses are alive anymore, but people start to say, I wonder what happened there anyway. By 1892, Harrison Nanny has a huge thing attacking Hathorn. What a fool he was. He was attacked in return. There was a war going on in the newspaper about that. But this is the time period, apparently, when criticisms started to come in. I've had people say to me, well, John Hathorn wasn't even at Neversink. So, what are you talking about? I don't understand that. Okay. A little bit about, I'm encouraging you to get books, because all of the local militias have these stories to tell. My husband over here is a researcher. I said to him, I've got several hundred things and they're all heading in different directions like a herd of cats. Spreadsheet. This is how you can organize your research. You can sort it by date or whatever field you want. You can color code the different things to see what category of event it is. And this is my spreadsheet. Green means John wrote it. I also am telling you, if you do this at all, before you get 20 documents together, do this and make sure you include a column that has the name of the file that lives on your computer that has that information. Stephen will back me up on it. Because later when you go to check, you're not going to remember which of those files that's in. So this works very well, and I encourage you, if you're doing research, to do this kind of thing. Okay, on to his men. Equally important. Many of them could not read or write, of course. They're about 30 to 40% of the pension applications I found are signed with an X, so they were illiterate. So they didn't leave much. This is what we're talking about. This is a pay record, one of the ones that lives in Albany. This one isn't Scorch. He actually wrote it himself. All of those DAR and SAR applications and my ancestry after that, boiled down to chicken scratch on little pieces of paper. This is the proof that somebody served. At a certain point, the National Archives transferred to cards. They tracked down where the documents lived and wrote the information on fact cards, and then you can bring it into your computer. Do you think that sometimes things are misread and you've got a 3-step process? So if you do this, try very hard to go back. You'll find that a lot of the documents you have transcriptions of perished in the fire. So you can't go back to the original and double check. I have to show you this because I'm so proud of William Blaine. This is the only document I've ever found that makes any sense at all at first glance. He was so careful, he drew lines, he did columns, and he tried very, very hard to make it so easy to see what pay was supposed to come to his men. So, I think he deserves a round of applause for it. And also, yay! The only thing I've seen of all of Hathorn's record that even vaguely looks like this. So, this also highlights another problem for the persistence of the records, because paper was hard to get. Henry Wisner of Continental Congress fame, in a letter to George Clinton, says, "I'm sorry I'm writing on this teeny tiny little piece of paper, but this is all I have. I can't find any more paper." They sometimes just couldn't even get paper to write on. You can imagine the impact that would have had on anybody being able to write things down. So when we go to the pension applications, they're long, there are many depositions, it's very tedious to read through, but you can boil down some of the pertinent information from the pension application so you can begin to see what's happening and where they were. This is just a few of his men. These are the people, and in the brackets are other people who have done depositions. They're old. This is well after the war. They're having to find people who are still alive that remember them serving, because most of them didn't have any discharge papers or anything to prove their service with. So it just goes on forever, them trying to say, yeah, I was there. And they do things like saying, I remember where I was when this happened and when that happened. Many of them were rejected because they didn't have any documents. But you can begin to see they're really all over the place. We've done about 30 or 40 of Hathorn's men, the pension applications. This is a short list of some of the things they say about where they were and what they were doing. So you can see there were all the strategic locations of the area, and they were doing all kinds of things. A lot of times it was support function for the Continentals, but they also were actively engaged in the battles. They were not just to the rear of the action. They remember things. I remember where I was when I heard that Andre was executed. Some wonderful stories from the local guys who lived in your landscape. Many times you know, they lived in that house where that's where their farm was. So to me, this is bringing out the story from the landscape, really. And to me, that's what makes it terribly meaningful. My father used to say, you walk through the woods, you don't know any of the plants, it's one experience. You know it's pretty. You walk through the woods, you know the names of the trees, it's an entirely different experience. So I think the more we can connect these kinds of things to the landscape we move through, the more meaningful it will become. For example, one story, one man's pension, John Hall, his two brothers joined up in 1776. Their land was across from Belleville Methodist Church in Warwick. And he talks about, I joined, we marched 15 miles, and we joined up with some other people, Isaac Nichols and George Clinton Brigade. We started building Fort Independence. Then they pulled us down to White Plains, where we were in the battle. So he survived the Battle of White Plains. Later on in 1779, he's down near the British lines in New gets caught. He was probably spying or scouting. Gets sent to the Sugar House prison. Have you guys heard of the Sugar House? You know about the prison? We had bad prisoner ward facilities too. Basically, it was a big building where they shoved everybody in like sardines, probably no heat or cooling, no matter what the weather. My impression is they opened the door and threw in a little food and water once in a while. Terrible, terrible mortality rate in those facilities. He survived 7 months. He's old. He made it to old age to apply for a pension. So a miraculous story, and we know where he lived. This is some of the writing of his pension account. You can see it's a challenge, but we can do it to extract the information. Okay, so another way of looking at the stories instead of the individuals is the correspondence. So late December 1776, the militia is in crisis. And late December 1776, everybody's in crisis. So can we have, let's see, I'll preface this by saying, Hathorn's men are near Closter in northeast New Jersey. The weather was sleet, freezing rain, and the temperatures were in the 20s. Can we have reading number 5, please?
John Hathorn, Lieutenant George Clinton, December 27th. Quote, "There is a determination in them to go home in all events. The difficulties and hardships, almost barefooted and nearly naked from falls, will not be in my power to keep them more than 3 days longer."
Okay. They're nearly naked for clothes. I can't keep them more than 3 days. This is their Valley Forge. Can I have reading number 6, please?
General Clinton to Colonels Hathorn and Allison, December 28th. They, the New York Convention, will relieve at least half of us for heaven's sake. For the sake of your bleeding country, keep your men together. A few days longer. Don't let them basely desert so honorably a cause.
Please, don't let them leave. We need them. News traveled more slowly then. They wrote these 2 letters. What happened on December 25th? Anybody know? December 25th, 1776? Bad storm. Hard to get across the Delaware from Washington. The 26th, he took Trenton. They didn't know yet. Can you imagine the response in the militia and our local communities when they finally got word that something had gone right? It would have been tremendous heartening for them. They were just about ready to throw in the towel. That's just 2 letters. So, what we're going to look at is 11 days, and I will read these to you because I know you can't read them. 11 days in the life of the militia from the documents. 1777, October 5th at Ramapo Clove, Major Thomas Moffett is saying, "The reinforcement I have received from Colonel Hathorn's regiment amounts to 200 men, officers included. Insufficient in case of attack. Scarce of flints. Please send some." The same day. Let's see. Go back. This was supposed to all happen. Same day, the 5th of October. Letter of Governor Clinton to the Senate. Sorry, my mouse is not working here. He's ordered the militia to come and help guard the mountains. They know the British are up to something, but they don't know quite what. So they're trying to figure out where are we going to put the troops. So the mountains between New Jersey and New York. So the 8th of October, New Windsor, George Clinton. Forts Montgomery and Clinton are lost. Therefore, I'm drawing the troops, including the militia of Orange, near New Windsor. So he's pulling back. Something's going on. They're getting nervous. They've had some disasters, and the men are now scrambling in another direction. This is October 9th at Fishkill. General Israel Putnam is saying Governor Clinton is on the west side of the river with about 400 Continental troops, which I sent him. Clearly they need reinforcements. He is exerting himself to collect the militia. You get the sense that they were kind of running around like ants, trying to figure out where they're supposed to be. On the 13th of October, well, now they know what the British were up to. They went up the river and burned Kingston. Peekskill is burned by the enemy. On the 16th, Israel Putnam is talking about that. He's at Fishkill. There is some good news. Burgoyne has surrendered. So all these things are within 11 days. You get a sense of what life was like in the militia, and the uncertainty, and trying to understand. And this is not the very beginning of the war. This is a while after the war has started, and they're still having a great deal of difficulty coordinating. We're close to the end now. I always try to connect to the current day wherever I can and try not to stretch it so much that it clearly isn't true. When I go into the classroom, I always have the kids vote to either be a rebel or a loyalist. It's a secret vote. I have this cute little voting box my grandmother had from her XYZ club. It's got black and white marbles, and nobody can see what marble you pick up. So they vote on these two positions. We should work for change within the current system. If we don't, there will be chaos and great suffering. So that's the loyalist view. Position 2, the system will never work for us. We must make major changes or completely dismantle it. It will be worth the cost. In every group, there's a mixture of loyalists and rebels. And when we open that box and see those white marbles in there and the black marbles, the kids start arguing with each other. What are you talking about? How could you possibly think like that? Sound familiar? I said, watch the news. We've been doing this since the beginning. It's my position that the dialogue between these positions is what actually the men fought for the freedom to define for ourselves what our America means. It doesn't matter if you're right all the time. And the kids can understand that. Okay? So we're just about at the end. 1775, the men of the militia started fighting to create this country and for the freedoms that we enjoy now. 2017, most of what they went through in their stories are still unknown. We've got the semi-quincentennial coming up. Do you think it's maybe time to start working and telling these stories and telling life? I think so. It's been quite a while. If anybody is interested in doing that kind of research and needs me as a resource to help you get started, I'll be happy to do it. You have to have good eyesight and you have to have a lot of patience, but boy, these stories are pretty amazing when you go into the documents and start looking. Thank you very